June 20th, 1815, London. The stock exchange is in chaos. No one knows if Britain has won or lost the war. No one knows if Napoleon is marching on Paris or lying dead on a Belgian battlefield. Fortunes are being made and destroyed every hour based on rumors, panic, and fear. Except one man. One man already knows exactly what happened. And in the next 48 hours, he will make what equals £50 million in today's money. His name? Nathan Rothschild. This isn't a conspiracy theory. This isn't a legend. This is documented history, and it's one of the most powerful lessons about money you'll ever learn. Because here's the thing. Rothschild didn't get lucky. He didn't have a crystal ball. What he had was something far more valuable and something you can build in your own life starting today. I'm going to show you exactly how he did it, why everyone else lost money while he made millions, and the 3 simple rules you can use right now to apply his strategy to your own finances. Let's get started. Let's go back to 1815. There's no internet, no phones, no telegraph, no radio. If something happens in Belgium, how does London find out? Answer: a horse rider travels to a port, takes a ship across the channel, rides another horse to London. The whole process? 3 to 4 weeks, sometimes longer. This is how the entire world operated. Information moved at the speed of horses and sailing ships. Now, here's where Nathan Rothschild got smart. Rothschild's father had 5 sons. Instead of keeping them all in one city, he sent them to 5 different cities: London, Paris, Vienna, Naples, and Frankfurt. Each son opened a bank. But here's what made them different. They weren't just banks, they were information stations. The Rothschilds did 3 things nobody else did. 1. They hired their own couriers, fast riders, fast ships, even carrier pigeons. While everyone else used public mail that took weeks, Rothschild's messages took days. 2. They created a code. Every message was encrypted. Even if someone stole a letter, they couldn't read it. 3. They lent money to governments. This gave them access to kings, generals, and ministers. They heard things ordinary businessmen never heard. Think about what this means. The Rothschilds knew what was happening in Europe days or weeks before anyone else. They knew troop movements, they knew which countries were going broke, they knew which wars were starting or ending. In today's language, they had the ultimate information advantage. June 18th, 1815. Napoleon Bonaparte faces the Duke of Wellington at a place called Waterloo in Belgium. This battle will decide everything. If Napoleon wins, he controls Europe again. French bonds go up, British bonds crash. If Wellington wins, the opposite happens. In London, the stock market is frozen with fear. No one knows what to do. Buy, sell, wait? British government bonds, called consols, are swinging wildly. One rumor says Napoleon is winning. Price drops. Next rumor says Wellington is winning. Price jumps. Everyone is gambling, because that's all they can do. Gamble on rumors. Except one man. One man already knows exactly what happened. And in the next 48 hours, he will make what equals £50 million in today's money. His name? Nathan Rothschild. Here's where the story gets interesting. Popular legend says Rothschild started selling bonds to create panic, then bought them back cheap. The truth is different and more instructive. Rothschild immediately started buying British bonds, quietly, through different agents, small amounts at a time so no one would notice. Why? Because he understood human psychology. Right now, the market is paralyzed with uncertainty. Prices are low because everyone is scared. When official news arrives tomorrow that Wellington won, everyone will rush to buy British bonds. Prices will explode upward. So Rothschild buys today while prices are still low. He buys all day June 20th. He buys the morning of June 21st. Then, around noon on June 21st, official messengers arrive in London. Wellington has won. Napoleon is defeated. The market erupts. Everyone rushes to buy British bonds. Prices shoot up by 20%, 30%, 40%. Rothschild sells. Everything he bought in the last 24 hours, he now sells at massive profit. The result? He makes approximately £600,000 in 48 hours. In today's money, that's roughly £50 million. Some historians think it was even more.
While Rothschild was buying on June 20th, what was everyone else doing? Panicking. Someone would say, "I heard Napoleon is winning," and people would sell. Then someone else would say, "No, I heard Wellington is winning," and people would buy. They traded on noise. Rothschild traded on information. The lesson? Don't react to every piece of news. Don't check your stock portfolio 10 times a day. Don't panic sell when the market drops. Have a plan and stick to it. Hundreds of investors made huge bets on the battle's outcome. Some bet everything on Napoleon winning. Some bet everything on Wellington winning. They were gambling, pure and simple. Rothschild didn't gamble. He waited until he had real information, then he acted decisively. The lesson? Only make big investments when you genuinely understand something others don't. If you're guessing, keep your position small. When panic hit the market, many investors needed to sell immediately, even at terrible prices, because they had bills to pay or debts coming due. They had no cushion, no emergency fund, no cash reserves. Rothschild had plenty of cash ready specifically for moments like this. The lesson? Always keep emergency money. Whether it's 6 months of expenses in a savings account or 10-20% of your investment money in cash, having reserves gives you options when everyone else has none. Now let me give you 3 rules you can use today. First rule, build knowledge in one specific area. You can't know everything, but you can know more than most people about one thing. Rothschild knew European government bonds better than anyone. That was his area. What you can do, pick one industry or one type of investment. Study it deeply. Read everything about it. Talk to people who work in it. Become the person others ask for advice. Examples: learn everything about real estate in your city. Understand one sector of the stock market deeply: healthcare, technology, energy. Master one type of investment: dividend stocks, index funds, bonds. When you know one area well, you can spot opportunities others miss. You'll know when something is overpriced or underpriced. You'll have your own information advantage. Real example? I know an investor who only invests in restaurant chains. That's it. He reads every restaurant company's financial reports. He eats at dozens of restaurants every month. He knows which chains are expanding well and which are struggling before Wall Street figures it out. His returns beat the market year after year. Second rule, always keep cash available. This is the rule most people ignore, and it costs them the most money. Rothschild kept huge cash reserves, not because he was scared, because he wanted to be ready when opportunities appeared. What you can do? Keep 15 to 20% of your investment money in cash or savings accounts. Yes, it earns less interest, but here's what it buys you: the ability to invest when prices crash. Think about it. March 2020, COVID crashes the market. Stocks drop 30 to 40%. Do you have cash to buy? Most people don't. They can only watch. 2008 financial crisis, same story. Stocks at incredible discounts, but most people have no cash available. The investors who made millions in 2008 and 2020 aren't smarter. They just had cash ready. Practical steps? Keep 3 to 6 months of living expenses in a high-yield savings account for emergencies.
Keep another 10 to 20% of investment money in treasury bills or money market funds for opportunities. Write down in advance what conditions would make you use this money. This cash feels like it's doing nothing, but it's actually giving you the most valuable thing in investing: options. Third rule: make decisions before emotions hit. Here's what separated Rothschild from everyone else. He decided what he would do before the emotional moment arrived. He didn't wait until the battle was over to figure out his strategy. He had already decided, if Wellington wins, I will buy immediately, regardless of how scary it feels. When the moment came, he didn't have to think. He just executed the plan. What you can do: create decision rules in advance. Write them down, follow them. Examples for stock investing: if the S&P 500 drops 20% from its high, I will invest $5,000 from my emergency cash. If my favorite stock drops below $50 per share, I will buy 10 shares. I will rebalance my portfolio every January 1st, no matter how the market is doing. For career and income, if I get a bonus, 50% goes to investments before I spend anything. I will ask for a raise every 18 months. If I lose my job, I will cut expenses by 30% immediately while I search. For emergencies, if my car breaks down, I use emergency fund, not credit cards. If unexpected expense comes up, I will wait 48 hours before deciding how to pay for it. The key? Write these down when you're calm. When emotions hit, market crashes, unexpected expenses, job loss, you don't have to make decisions. You just follow your rules. Here's what most people miss about the Rothschild story. The Waterloo trade wasn't lucky. It was inevitable. Rothschild spent years, decades really, building the courier network, the relationships with governments, the cash reserves, the decision-making discipline. The Waterloo battle was just the day his system paid off. This is how wealth actually works. It doesn't come from one brilliant stock pick or one lucky break. It comes from good habits repeated over years. What this means for you? Stop looking for shortcuts. Stop looking for the next Bitcoin or the 10x stock. Instead, build these systems. System 1: automatic saving. Set up automatic transfers, paycheck to savings account to investment account. You never see the money, so you never miss it. Start with 10% of income, increase 1% per year. System 2: continuous learning. Read one book per month about money, investing, or business. Listen to one podcast episode per week. Spend 30 minutes each Sunday reviewing your finances. System 3: regular reviews. Check your full financial picture once per month: net worth, spending, investments. Do a deep review every quarter. Adjust your strategy once per year. These seem simple, they seem boring, but this is how wealth is built. Small decisions compounded over time. Rothschild's success came from 3 things working together: information, he knew things others didn't; capital, he had money ready to invest; and discipline, he followed his plan when others panicked. You need all 3. Information without capital can't be used. Capital without information gets wasted, and both are useless without the discipline to act. Your version? Information is your specialized knowledge in one area. Capital is your emergency fund and investment reserves. Discipline is your written decision rules and consistent habits. Build all 3. They compound together. 200 years ago, Nathan Rothschild made £50 million in 48 hours. But here's what's important. He wasn't smarter than you. He didn't have secret knowledge you can't access. He didn't get lucky. He simply did 3 things: built specialized knowledge over years, kept cash reserves ready for opportunities, and made decisions based on rules, not emotions. You can do the same 3 things.
You won't make £50 million in 48 hours, but you can build steady wealth over 10, 20, 30 years using the same principles. Start today. This week, pick one area to specialize in. Choose one industry, one investment type, one skill. Start learning everything about it. This month, open a high-yield savings account. Start building your cash reserves, even if it's just $50 per paycheck. This year, write down your decision rules. What will you do when the market crashes, when you get a bonus, when unexpected expenses hit? Decide now, follow later. The investors who thrive over the next 20 years won't be the smartest or the luckiest. They'll be the ones who built systems, maintained discipline, and stayed ready for opportunities. Rothschild understood this in 1815. You can understand it today. If this helped you, subscribe for more real financial history and practical money strategies that actually work. Next week, the Panic of 1907 and what it teaches us about market crashes and recovery. What should we cover next? Drop your suggestions below. Now go build your system.